Hello, everyone.
Caleb, welcome back.
Thank you, sir.
We have a guest tonight. The one and only Mr. St. Clair.
What an introduction.
All right, well, we don't have anything to say, so see you next week.
Daniel's all nervous about his job.
God.
You'll be fine.
Ugh.
I'm just trying to picture those sexy golden locks behind a desk.
Man, I gotta pull them up.
What?
Mm-hmm.
He's going sexy bun?
Mm-hmm.
Man bun.
Well, that's fine.
I think it's discrimination. The women can wear their hair down.
Ooh.
Amen.
That is discrimination.
Yeah, I'm gonna
Who
file
wrote
a
that
complaint
policy?
or something.
They don't really have policies where I work.
Can I file a complaint first day? About the dress code?
I would advise against that. Just
This is an at-will state.
Yeah.
He clocks in and 5 minutes in. Where's the policy about complaints?
Yeah. Where do I file my first one?
you come up there like a cop watcher. You got like cameras and everything.
Yeah.
You're just filming. You're like, I need some complaint forms, please.
My hair will be down by the end of the week, boys.
Think so?
Yep.
Well, Friday's casual. Jean casual, right?
Yeah.
Apparently John wears jeans every day.
Well,
And sneakers.
John's John.
I feel like you have some deep-seated issues you need to work through with him, St. Clair.
Nah.
No, we're going to leave him alone. Leave those issues.
Leave them
He's just
deep
funny.
down.
I'll get him.
I'll get him.
I'm not dead yet.
Oh, man.
It would be funny if you just all of a sudden started messing with him from Iowa somehow.
Just blank
Why are
stare,
you
guys.
looking at me like
he just has a blank stare
I'm
on
just
his
saying,
face.
Long game, man. Long game.
That's what it's all about.
I mean, it is.
You got to wait till they don't.
Like, joke's on John, all
Never
those
think
years of
about it.
abuse, and not just from him, but just in general. Everybody trolling me. Well, I learned revenge is a dish best served cold.
Who else was messing with you?
Oh, that's just my life in general, man.
I remember one of
These guys mess with
the
me.
first time
I
I
fun, but everybody's always messing with me.
the first time I met John was at like a church lock-in function, and I think St. Clair, you invited us, and so we were it was actually at like First Baptist or something like that in the gym, or like I get there, they're playing dodgeball already, and I walk in, and I see St. Clair's like upset. And John they're arguing, right? And St. Clair's like saying, you're cheating. And John's like, no, I'm not. And John's got like a ball behind his back. Like he's obviously cheating. And like, I don't remember like exactly like what it was, but I walk in and I'm like, I think I'm going to like this John guy. And then me and him just kind of trolled St. Clair the rest of the night. I'm sorry, man.
Where was this
I
at?
apologize.
First Baptist? Unity?
It was a Unity lock-in that we rented out the First Baptist gym for.
I don't remember that.
It was like the first one. I remember going in there.
Yeah, because like I said, it was the first time I'd ever met John.
Long game. I can't even remember all the...
13.
Does that mean that I'm on that list of your long
No,
game?
you guys,
We're on it. He's only saying that because we're in the room.
No.
Yeah.
Long game.
Like, you guys mess with me, but you also, like, were a friend.
John never was your friend.
Just messed with me.
I think he thinks that you guys are friends. You're like, perfect. I'm going to get
Long
him.
game.
Of course he thinks that.
Deep-seated psychological warfare there. I'm just kidding. It's not that serious.
It's real. It's just not that serious. Oh, man.
So St. Clair, what do you think about our new president?
I thought it was awesome.
Yeah.
Like, I don't really follow politics, but like I'm completely checking out. Like, I like to watch, like you were saying, that you like just kept refreshing election results, just watching like the trend of things and how it was going. But like, I'm checking out. In 10 years, I won't even know who's running.
Yeah.
It wasn't even a good show. It was like, come on, California got all their votes counted, or a good majority of them. All these super highly populated states got their votes counted, and they didn't like the number of states or votes quote unquote, that Trump was winning, and it's like all of a sudden these swing states, you couldn't count 1 + 1 anymore. It wasn't even a good drama. Like I like every 4 years a circus comes into town. It's like, well, at least give me a good circus.
Yeah.
Good trapeze act, elephants killing people.
Well,
whatever.
I mean, it's not over. It's
Right.
going to keep going on for weeks and weeks and weeks, and then.
But it's boring.
But it's boring. At least
It is. Yeah,
I'm sure there was.
but-
I'm sure there's always meddling, but at least last go around they were smart enough to make another country do it instead of just going, we can't count.
A pipe busted in Georgia, and all of a sudden we can't count our
It was
votes.
just like, how much did you pay those guys to roll by and go, stop the vote, stop? Nobody's doing that.
Yeah.
It was boring. Like you're saying, it's boring.
And it is boring. Like, it's going to be boring.
I mean, it's probably going to result in a deadlock anyway. The Senate, like we're going to a runoff in Georgia because they don't want to admit that they lost the Senate. Supreme Court is stacked. It's going to be deadlocked. Biden's not going to get anything done.
No.
When has any president ever gotten anything done?
I mean, I got a lot of money from Trump. That Child Care Act was sweet.
I didn't get shit.
Well, now you will. You got child tax credits. That's a serious, especially if you're in the lower to middle class, wherever you're at.
Hey.
That's a serious.
I take offense to
I
that.
said lower or middle class.
I take offense to that.
Okay, well, you must have voted blue.
Maybe I did. Maybe I didn't.
No, you're purple.
Yeah.
You're purple.
Yeah, I'm purple through and through.
I can't ever tell if I listen to these podcasts. You two, I get. But Caleb is just like, one day he's blue, the next he's red, then he's blue, red. So I just call you purple. That's what every time I listen to you, I'm like, here comes the purple guy.
It's because I don't think that there isn't a blue and a red. There isn't a left and a right. It's one party.
No, what I'm saying is you cherry pick.
Yep.
Well,
Like one day you're all for freedom, one day you're all for freedom, and the next you're like, speeding is a violation of my rights.
That's
purple. That's purple, dude.
huge out of context.
It's not out of context.
Yeah.
No, it's not. Like
I said-
freedom.
I said reckless driving is breaking natural law.
No, it's not.
Yes.
Which one of them?
It-
Because I just listened to that thing again.
See? Here we go. It's already straight blue pill up in this hoe.
Like, if you put someone's life in danger, you have stolen their safety. That's breaking natural law.
You're drawing a line in the sand, man. At what point can you emphatically state that that individual's life is in danger from your actions until the point, in this case, until the point of contact is made between two vehicles from your reckless actions? The whole world's so they developed nuclear bombs. Is that endangerment? Is that reckless driving? Is that reckless science?
Yes.
No, it's not. It's not. Developing
First
nuclear
off,
arms.
nuclear weapons don't exist.
Amen.
That's out of context.
So
Discussing it.
we just should put that on the books.
What do you mean nuclear weapons don't exist?
Nukes
There's
aren't
no
real.
proof that nukes exist.
See, this is why. This will make me have another drink.
You just look at it and like, this is why.
All right. I mean, I just have to concede that. No contest, Judge. I don't have any evidence to argue against that.
Nobody does.
I'm an anarchist, man. I think I believe in the non-aggression principle.
All right, so if you're an anarchist, what's up
I
with
think
reckless
that-
endangerment when you're driving down the road?
He feels like he's
You're
being the
endangering
aggressor.
someone. Going up and pointing a gun in someone's face is endangering someone. That's breaking natural law.
Not if you never
Driving your
intend to pull
car
the trigger.
and weaving in and out of people, making them slam on their
If the
brakes or
gun's-
swerve is endangering their life. That's breaking natural law.
Extreme example. Your feelings do not dictate. Your feelings upon the situation in no way, shape, form, or fashion dictate whether or not your life is endangered. So two separate incidents. I pull a gun in your face and the gun is loaded. You feel endangered. I pull a gun and the gun's not loaded, and you feel endangered. Your feelings are exactly the same, but in one instance, in reality, your life is no way in danger, and the other one it is.
Yeah, but in one case where the gun's unloaded, you have no intent of doing any harm, right?
Right.
But when you're reckless driving, that's out of your control. That's why it's called reckless. Because you
My intent is not
can't
to harm
always
anybody.
control it, but you can still harm someone without the intent of it, and it be against that.
But
You
that's
still
a-
harm someone.
that's-
You just cited intention as an example of proof whether it's reckless or not.
No, I was saying for that example it would be, But the example I gave is if you shot a machine gun into a crowd of people with an intent to not hit anyone, knowing that there's a possibility that you might, whether you do or don't, it's breaking natural law.
Yeah, but now, like, you could use that
and
same.
That's the same thing to me as
because they can use
reckless
that
driving.
for COVID, man. You don't intend to spread it, but since it's a possibility, you have to put your muzzle on every day. No,
But we're not talking about
it's the same
government
it's the same reasoning,
bullshit
but it's the same
and-
reasoning because there's no crime until harm has been done. Like
Until there's a victim.
until there's a victim.
Yes, but there can be a victim before without
But
actual physical
But freedom
injury.
is dangerous, and people will accidentally hit someone, but then they'll have to pay the consequences for it. That doesn't mean they don't get to drive the way they want to drive. They do know that if their driving gets so out of control that they actually do harm another individual, then they have to pay the consequences for it.
When we went
Freedom's
to go see
dangerous.
that movie and clipped mirrors, did you break natural law?
No.
No.
No, because he paid for all of it anyways. Like, everything was taken care of. Nobody was
Well,
even harmed
just because
in the
he
making of
paid-
that movie.
He paid for the actions that he did, which means that he did something wrong.
Well, I think the only
was a
thing that
hell
was
of a
wrong
plan.
was the property damage.
Yeah.
And the fact that the
was
child
it.
had a panic attack and that the ambulance was called because it was a small child in the car that thought they almost died and had a panic attack.
Okay.
Buck
Go
up.
that child to get out more. They didn't almost die.
He did that kid a favor. Toughen him up a little bit.
It's
Obviously.
like,
That's
Obviously,
why
his
I call you
parents-
purple, man. See, that's why the feelings don't matter at all. Feelings don't matter.
that's more
What
than
actually
feelings,
happened.
though.
What
Panic
actually happened.
attacks are real, and panic attacks can cause serious things. Like,
Suck it up, Buttercup.
I mean, like, you almost killed
Yeah.
3 or 4 people. Or
Almost
more.
only counts in horseshoes and hand grenades.
That's right.
We were doing neither.
No, it actually doesn't count in horseshoes or hand grenades.
It does. You get a point if you're close.
No, because
Okay, so we're
this
doing,
is a big thing that I've always been
Damn
very
it,
particular
Caleb,
about.
you're wrong
Oh my
about
God,
this. Have
dude,
you
he's
played
purple.
horseshoes?
Dude,
It
he's
doesn't.
purple.
It doesn't
Listen,
count.
we're recording-
Almost doesn't count in horseshoes and hand grenades.
How not?
Because if you throw a hand grenade and the radius of it hits someone and then it's effective, then that's not almost. That's within the radius of the grenade. The game of horseshoes, even though you can't see it, there is a line around that center post that is not almost. It's you have to get it in within that zone to score a point.
But I think
If you almost got it there, it would mean you didn't score a point.
But I think the point.
If you didn't hit someone with a grenade, it would mean you almost did.
Okay, you're technically right. Shut the fuck up
That's
on that
not.
one.
No.
I'm just
But
saying.
see, I don't know that that's
I
the
don't know
case because you're trying to get the horseshoe around the post.
You're
If
trying-
you didn't do that.
you're trying to
Almost.
win.
Oh,
So you
almost I
almost-
got it there.
You're trying to win by
true, too.
points. Is the objective of the game.
This is a dumb
So
argument.
Yeah, this is neither here nor there.
that's
because
just
I'm gonna give you an example.
yeah. That's just one
I'm
of
gonna
those things I had to throw in because like people always say that, but when I was very young, I was like I thought about it and I was like no,
All right, so
that's not true.
we'll shift topics here. All right, so right now we're recording a podcast. Not many people listen to it, but every now and then topics are discussed that might be stressful to certain individuals. What so happens when some young individual that's living in his mother's basement drinking Mountain Dew and doesn't have a dad in his life to slap him around a little, make sure he's got a little bit of a backbone, quote unquote, and he stumbles across this and he doesn't like one of your viewpoints and it causes stressful thoughts and he succumbs
He
to
can stop
"Oh,
listening to it at any moment.
You can get off the road.
No,
Yes, you. No, there's nothing in natural law that says you have the right to a vehicle and you have the right to drive on the same road as I do, and you have the right to safety and security in a half-ton vehicle that's traveling 80 miles per hour through time and space. If you don't want to take the risk, don't get on the road. Go be Amish and get a cart and buggy.
no.
That is natural law. You take the risk every time you get in the freaking vehicle. Every time I get in the vehicle, you know what I'm going to tell my son? Or when I'm teaching him? There's somebody out there that's drinking. You drive defensively, it's not their fault if you get hit. 360-degree awareness. You are in your vehicle. Personal responsibility. If you don't like it, don't drive.
Yes,
there's
but
nothing
if
in natural
someone-
law that says you have
But
a right.
if
Natural law,
someone
you have
hits
no
you,
right.
it's their fault, not yours, for being on the road driving.
You're right. It is their fault if they hit you, but you don't have the right to say,
And driving
well, you were
recklessly-
driving you were driving in such a manner that it's not acceptable to how I was driving. or it's not acceptable to the way that I think you should drive. Right. You accept the risk. It's a half-ton vehicle traveling 80, 90 miles an hour. Whatever, so be it.
Yeah, but see, like, and this was the big problem with when we had this argument is the actual definition of what I think reckless driving is. And I think that, and I said this many times, I think that the speed limits need to be raised, which I don't think there should be speed limits, honestly, but I think that the speed limits should be raised. I think lower speed limits cause more injuries and more accidents. If people were driving faster, there'd be less accidents. Okay. Because people are gonna drive recklessly. They're gonna speed. People want to get places quicker. Yep. And if you raise the speed limits on everything, there's in countries where the speed limits are much higher, they have far less traffic accidents than we do.
Okay.
But if you are going an excessive amount of speed where you are...
There we are again.
Where you are causing people to possibly wreck...
But then that is you
that's
double
that's
talking
fucking
right now,
wrong.
You're saying if you're going an excessive amount of speed, which means you're now breaking a speed limit that you think in your head needs to be there. Because if you go past it, it's now excessive.
If traffic is going and you are cutting people off, making them slam on their brakes, swerve into another lane, and making other people slam on their brakes, what's the fucking point of that?
Okay, so
you're being a fucking asshole and you're nearly killing people, and it's obviously a way higher chance that one day you continue to do that, you are actually going to kill someone. Why would you want to live your life that way, where every day you drive, there's a very good chance that you could kill someone for no fucking reason other than you're an asshole?
No, Caleb, dude. No.
Well, you have to give me a real
I've given you a real rebuttal. When I get on the road, I drive. Okay?
That's a t-shirt.
When I get on the road, I drive.
If Mrs. Smith, who's 75 years old, who still has her driver's license, decides to get on the road and do battle in the middle of Memphis on the 240 loop in the middle of rush hour, and has a problem with the way that I'm driving, that's on her, man.
No, I understand that. I understand that. And so I've been on those roads and I've gone fucking, 80, 90 miles an hour and been in the fast lane and gone past people and like, why the fuck are you going so slow? Those people are endangering people just as much as someone going 110, 120, weaving in and out of cars.
Okay, so if I make contact, by that logic, if I make contact with their vehicle, why were they not endangering my life?
It's her fault.
They like those cars that do that drive on the interstate are endangering people that are fucking going super slow and fucking, that's what I'm saying.
Okay, so that's what. All right. So where is the definition of reckless endangerment here? What is your operating definition?
What is it exactly?
Define it.
It's any type of driving that causes someone to wreck and die, that has a very high chance for someone to wreck and die.
No, see, and with that definition, I think you're catering to the lowest common denominator. It's any type of driving that might possibly cause anyone to die. If, God forbid, a mentally handicapped person steals their mother's keys and gets on the road, and my driving causes that person to die, I'm not going to sweat it. The law might have a problem with it if I was the aggressor, which is totally understandable. But that person shouldn't be on the road. You can't that's catering to the lowest common.
But what if you're driving and you hit my car and I was going the speed limit and just driving normally?
Then he'll pay the consequences.
And my child is in the car, and my wife is in the car, and we all three die.
Was I the one that made contact with your vehicle? Then yes, I am at fault. I am at fault. If I'm driving 20 miles, 30 miles, 40 miles an hour, in excess of the speed limit, whatever it may be, and if I make contact with your vehicle, I am the aggressor in that sense.
Right. His intent was not to ever hit you.
And intent doesn't matter, though.
It doesn't matter when it comes to the consequences of actions, but it does matter when it comes to, am I being the aggressor or not?
Yeah, I'm just driving.
If I'm not intentionally being the aggressor, I'm just driving, and then I accidentally harm someone in that.
You're intentionally being an aggressor.
It's not like going up,
because everyone knows there's aggressive driving and defensive driving.
It's not picking a person and going, I'm going to steal something from them. I got them. They're my target, right? It's completely different. Like, accidents are going to happen. because when people are free, there's always going to be accidents.
But the majority of accidents
and when
happen
those accidents
because
happen,
someone is doing something fucking stupid.
No, the majority of accidents happen because the sheep will get on the road and they've been trained by the red lights and the stop signs and the double yellow lines and the white lines to not realize I drive the whole road, motherfucker. Deal with it. That is, if I'm traveling in a 4-wheel vehicle, I'm driving on whatever pavement I can.
You pay taxes on both sides of the road, don't you?
The thing is, I agree with you, and I think all of that shit needs to be done away with, and we would have way less traffic accidents. People would be driving much faster. There would be less traffic accidents.
So what you're saying is,
I think that in the current state we have, driving recklessly, where clearly there is a much higher chance of you actually hitting someone and killing them, doing it on a daily basis as a part of your life is breaking natural law, because you know that that's a possibility.
See, we might get deeper into this. So, it's a definition of natural law I have complications with.
Okay. So first, though, so you're saying if you do it on a daily basis, but what if, like, my kid's in the back having some kind of medical emergency? Is it not breaking it in that instance?
No.
See,
So
then that's where it doesn't. It either is or it isn't. Right?
Like, if you hit someone, yes,
he'll still pay the consequences for it. That's what I'm saying. You can't escape the consequences for harming another individual.
Then you haven't. But what I'm saying is that if you're continually doing something that is obviously has a high probability
how many times does that take
of killing someone, and you choose to continue to do it, like, that's fucked up. You're going to pay the consequences for that one way or another. And that's what I mean by it's breaking natural law.
Nah.
You're going to pay the consequences for that one way or another.
But here's the thing.
That's fucked up. That's immoral.
The same thing can be said about someone who wants to use drugs, right? Like, and I think that everyone has a right to do that as an adult. Like, it's the government.
Here.
So, like, if that's the case, right, there are, if I want to go, let's say, do meth every single day, like, I'm running a risk because I'm intoxicated. I'm been up for days, right? So I go out and then I accidentally harm someone, maybe from driving a vehicle or just being fucking crazy, right? I'm hallucinating or something, right?
Yeah.
Like, does anyone have a right to stop people from doing the drugs just because there could be consequences for the individual? Like, I can't handle my shit, so I go and do something fucked up on it.
But if you,
it's the same thing.
Yes,
I have a right to take any action.
But
if I cross a line, I pay the consequences for that action.
But from actual facts and reality, from what I've looked into in the places where they have legalized all drugs, that doesn't happen. It's not like people are just getting fucked up all the time, and then they have all of these crazy instances of deaths and this and that.
That's not what you're basing your argument on.
There isn't. Yes, it is, because I'm talking about a higher chance, doing something that causes a higher chance of
doing any type of drug is
harming someone else,
putting myself at a higher risk. If I'm doing, especially any type of hard drug, is putting myself at a higher risk of doing something that could harm another individual every time that I take a drug. Every single time.
Not even close.
Most definitely. No. Maybe not smoking weed, like literally
alcohol,
everything else.
Alcohol would be the number one thing, the number one drug that would make you harm other people over every other drug there is on the market.
Sure. And
there's definitely
evidence
to support that spousal abuse happens under intoxication.
Sure.
Yeah, so what I'm saying is that other drugs are not like that. Other drugs don't make you violent. Violent people do bad drugs, different. But drugs don't just make you
rule
violent.
Out the other drugs.
That's like saying playing violent video games.
We'll just
makes
use alcohol
violent.
then, right?
Exactly. Okay, so by your definition, correct me if I'm wrong, when it came to driving, you said driving in a manner or operating your vehicle in a manner that would increase the chances or makes it highly likely that some other person would die or get hurt. Yes?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Alcohol. Screw the other drugs.
Sure.
Alcohol is definitely well documented as far as, like, you get drunk, hit your wife. You get drunk, beat your kids. You get drunk and drive.
Mm-hmm.
All right? So it's very well established. I don't know about all the other drugs because they're not legal and there's probably not a bunch of evidence because they're not legal. Taking away alcohol, because it's well documented that you could go without alcohol. Everybody could go without alcohol. It's a luxury item.
Right.
And a lot of people can handle the liquor. Some people can't. But it's well documented that you get You get wasted, and that's when
It's playing
bad
with
things
fire,
happen.
right?
Bad
It's playing
things
with
happen.
fire.
Are we taking that away?
But-
and are we taking it away just for the individuals
be
that have a
taken
problem?
away?
Here's the
No.
thing. Because I don't think that you should be able to tell anyone what they can and can't do. Then no, you can't. I'm not going to say that you can't drink, but when you go out and do something wrong, you're going to pay the consequences
yes.
for it.
We all
That's my
agree.
whole point to all of it.
It's not your whole
I'm
point.
not telling
You're going
people
back
that
and
they
forth.
can't drive recklessly. I'm saying that they're going to pay the consequences
course they will.
for it.
Yeah.
All right, so yeah.
Yeah, we
All right,
all
so
agree
yeah,
with that.
I 100%
That's
accept
what I've
your
been
terms.
saying this whole time.
No, but
I've never. I'm not. I don't dictate what people do. I'm not telling people what to do.
Did we
I
just
never
witness
have.
a small? I feel like we witnessed a small side shift and backpedal.
a slight one.
Caleb, I love you, but that was a small
Go
side
back,
shift and
go back
backpedal.
and find me say that I am trying to tell people how they should drive, and
you're
that I will
arguing-
enforce it.
Your
arguing
argument's
that
not
it's immoral.
Yes.
You're arguing, and that's
and
my
that-
problem. It is not immoral for someone to hop in their Lamborghini, Aventador, or Countach, whatever the models are, drive 150 miles per hour, and grandma gets scared and has a heart attack. Not his fault. She should have worked out. She put herself in situations in a crazy ass world, and the probabilities came up just right, and her heart wasn't able to hold up to the stress.
Yeah, like-
that's her fault. That's her fault. It is a crazy ass world out there, and there are no guarantees, and there are no rights.
But just
That's
because
your
it's
problem.
a crazy
That's
world,
yours.
if something
Theirs.
bad happens to you, the person who did that thing
Did that thing.
will pay
I blew
the
by you, and I
consequence.
blew by you in a Lamborghini 150 miles an hour, and because you're 75 and you got pre-existing medical conditions, you have a heart attack. How did that person? How was that immoral?
That's not the kind of case that I'm talking about.
I see. We're getting so muddy, dude. You need to choose a side.
But I did.
Purple.
I in the last podcast, I made myself clear on what I was talking about when I meant reckless driving. So,
But see, it's not
But
clear,
it's
man.
not, yeah, because
It's
if
not.
they didn't
very
harm
personal
anyone
definition.
that day, did they break any natural law? No, they didn't, because you have a right to take any action you want to take without harming another individual.
Not based upon the likelihood that harm will occur. Minority
Exactly,
Report.
because freedom is dangerous, and if we're all out there being free, occasionally things are going to happen. Now, as an individual, you can weigh those options for
Sure.
yourself, and you
Is
can
it
go,
smart?
I choose not
Yeah.
to drive fast, or I choose not to drink or do drugs because
Sure.
I might not be able to handle
Sure.
it,
It's
and I
probably
might
the
have to
smart
pay
option.
consequences that I don't want to pay.
But I can't call you immoral.
Exactly, if someone else decides to do it.
Until the point of
Until-
car contact is
Exactly,
made.
that's it. Otherwise, we're arresting people for thought crimes
I'm
and
not
putting them
trying
in
to arrest anyone. I'm saying that
we're giving them tickets for things where there's no
law
victims.
of
Like
nature,
I understand what you're
you will
saying.
pay for those actions.
Not unless you harm someone.
Yeah, and see, listen, I get
Not
what you're
unless
saying.
you
I
harm
get,
someone.
Maybe
I get
not.
not arresting. I get.
Yes.
I get you're saying not arresting. I get what you're saying. But I definitely will say that I disagree with you on the morality of the issue, because
I mean,
That's
that's
what
a
you're saying. You're
personal
saying
thing.
immoral.
That's
I get
that's
that.
my opinion. Is that I think it's immoral to drive like that because clearly you're putting people's lives in danger.
No.
Why would you do that?
clearly
It's
is
not
a
immoral.
strong adverb.
Yeah, no, it's not immoral. It's just something that you would choose not to do based on the possibility
I mean,
of the consequences
in my opinion,
and the outcome.
putting people's lives in danger is immoral.
But then we all need to sit in a box and not move, because I can accidentally put someone's life in danger unintentionally
No,
with
but
any
that's,
action
but
that I
that's,
take.
taxes?
that's not what I'm talking. I'm talking about intentionally.
Do you
Because
pay taxes?
No.
You pay taxes?
I'm not going to answer that question on a public forum.
Oh, okay. I'm just saying, if you've ever paid tax in your life, then you've unintentionally supported the military-industrial complex. It's probably resulted in somebody's death in another third world country or second world country, whatever they call themselves.
and I completely
Are you
disagree
responsible for
with
that?
Yes, and I will pay for it.
No, you're not responsible for that. You're not responsible for that.
No.
What?
No,
If
because
I-
it was forced. The tax was forced.
A gun was held to your head and they said, pay it, do or die. It's on them. It's not on you. You were just staying alive.
No, because for a while I was willing to do it before I realized that taxation was theft.
It doesn't change the way that it's
I was willing to do it.
conducted. Just because you were willing doesn't
Yes,
mean they
but
still weren't
but
stealing
my,
from
yes,
them
but
at gunpoint.
my
and the
intention
risk of a
was
cage.
different.
The road to hell is paved with good intentions. You're really on this intention spree.
Let me ask.
I'm not saying it's not. Sorry, I'll shut up.
No, natural law. So I'm not clear on this. So if somebody comes and they comes to my house, shoots my wife,
Yep.
murders her, I know who did it and all that. Can I go kill them? Or is that breaking natural law too?
I don't think so. I think that would be a
So we're trusting.
without that would be, if you did it quickly, it would be that person who broke natural law getting their karma much quicker than the usual lag that it takes for things to come back on people.
So under natural law,
They've already received their karma. Okay, so
No, because it can come in any way. Their punishment can come in any form, and him taking it personally would be a form of that.
Yeah, I know, but I understand that from their perspective. If I'm the one that did it, I understand that's that. But from my perspective, is it immoral for me to kill that guy?
No,
I don't know. That's a good question.
I wouldn't think
know.
so.
I don't either. I don't know what these people see it as. Like, 'cause I'm for like natural law. I was listening to that Passio thing again. I get the morality of it all. Like, I get that, but I don't know. I get the feeling, and this could be completely wrong, but I get the feeling he's okay with you defending yourself, even like with deadly force. But
Right.
if we
Hunting
were in
somebody down.
if we were in an actual anarchical or whatever you call it society, and something like that happened, what is the justice? Because I don't know that I believe in real, actual karma.
Yeah,
Like,
I think
you know,
I think if natural law does exist, and I think it does, I think there will be consequences for that individual, whether you get your
Maybe.
hands on him or not.
but that's the part I don't know. I don't know that there are. I
The
think people
reason
get
that
a
it's
lot
hard
of
for the reason that it's hard for
I-
people
I
to believe in
think
it
so
is
too.
because of the what does he call it? The like lag.
The cause and the effect can be way.
So
later.
you're saying
So-
that you don't think
you don't
that-
always see the
You don't always see the-
repercussions of
yeah.
your actions or of other people's actions because they don't always happen immediately. But
So you don't think there's anybody that's
according
ever
to
gotten away with-
Passio, no. In some form, in one way or another, you break natural law, you will pay the consequences for it.
and what's enforcing that?
God.
Reality. Okay, so listen.
So
I say
always
God, you
consequences.
say reality.
There's always
Same thing.
there's always consequences.
okay.
All right, so someone murders your wife and you don't ever hunt them down. Their life is shortchanged. Like, okay, all right, we'll go out on a limb here. There's not science to prove it, but if I was a betting man, I'd be willing to bank a lot that 1,000, 2,000 years from now, that there are psychological consequences when you do something that is wrong. Okay, so like a small example would be I steal a car or I work and pay for the car. Maybe people that don't have a conscience don't feel this way, but one, I feel pride, and one, I'm just driving a car. There's no pride involved.
Yeah, no, I get that.
So for the guy that murdered, even
But
if
it's not a 1-to-1.
yes, it is. You take see, that's what I'm saying.
I'm trying to understand.
You take somebody's life, and I think it seriously warps you, even though you might never notice it.
It doesn't look that way to us.
It doesn't. Yeah, it doesn't look that way to us. But I think if you
And
start down a
yeah.
path and you're done.
I
You're
agree,
done.
but I think
Well,
that
I mean, there might be
that's-
some redemption there.
I think that
but-
that's
Yeah.
a part of the consequence of such a severe breach of natural law. But I think that if someone were to hunt that person down and kill them, then that would be true justice.
Yeah, I like if
I mean, like,
I still think like even in a anarchical society, there needs to be some sort of law enforcement that upholds natural law. Because,
Yeah.
and there still needs to be some sort of system, because I mean,
And
you
there
could
should be-
accidentally think a guy is the
Yes,
guy who
and
shot
that's
your
the
wife,
thing,
and
is
then
there-
you go after the
there
wrong
does
guy,
need to
right? So
be
there needs to be some
due
way in
process
some of
in a
these
sense.
scenarios.
So let's say it didn't happen to me, nothing like that. But I know the guy down the street's a child molester, right?
Yeah, sure.
And I know he's doing that, and I think I can get away with it, and I do, and I kill him. Do you think that has the same psychological thing?
I don't know, man.
Or
That's
does that?
that's like super gray territory.
See, I think
Well, I think
that-
we're already in the gray territory.
Yeah,
We
I
can't
know.
prove any of it. But
I think
The
that-
harm wasn't the harm wasn't committed against you.
But in my opinion,
it's not your responsibility to pick up the. It's not your responsibility to pick up the pieces of other person's life.
What if the family hires him to though? Just the way that we.
I don't know. But I don't know where to segue here because I don't believe in anarchy, and you guys do.
You need to tell us what you think.
Well, I want to say that. I want to say this real quick about that. I think that I think that taking a human life, whether the person 100% deserves it, whether it's the worst, most disgusting person on the planet, and you're completely justified to, I think that that's going to take a toll on you, no matter who you are. Well, it's not no matter who you are, but for the average person, I think that that's going to take some form of a toll on you.
I don't know, man. They just killed your wife or your kid or something, dude.
Yeah, I understand that. I'm not saying
I'm going to bathe in their blood.
I'm not saying that you might feel good about it in the moment.
It's going to be fucking amazing.
But after,
take everything,
I think I'd enjoy it.
Yeah,
piece by piece.
I agree with you.
Everything.
I think that you would enjoy it. Like I love those types of movies where like Law Abiding Citizen.
That's what I was thinking.
Fucking one of the best revenge movies of all time, because that's what I picture I would do to someone who did something like that to my family. But and I think I would enjoy doing it every minute of it. But afterwards, I think it would fuck me up, and I may not regret it, but I think that it would still mess with my head, because I don't know, taking a life is a serious thing.
Sounds like you think life's more valuable than I do.
Jeez, Jason. Tell us how you really feel.
Well, I don't mean in general, just the average person. I think we're probably on the same page, but I don't know that somebody that's like that. I don't know, and maybe it's just me being arrogant. I think I'd sleep fine.
Well, and that's what I'm saying. And maybe, but I think eventually it would kind of fuck with you.
Maybe. I've never done it.
Especially when you have the wrong guy.
Me either.
Huh?
Then it would mess with you when you have the wrong guy.
Yeah, if you got the wrong guy.
Oh, yeah. I mean, definitely.
There's a really good movie that is, I don't know the name of it, so technically it's not a spoiler alert. Well, here's the thing. I was going to tell you the end anyway, so it's not a spoiler alert. So if you ever stumble upon this movie, you won't know. But that's the end of the movie, is someone does something, they kidnap their son and kill him or something.
Yeah.
And they find a guy and they get him and they take him to a cabin out in the middle of nowhere and they start torturing him and they keep him alive for weeks and weeks and weeks.
Yeah.
And they torture him in all kinds of amazing ways, and the whole time you're just this is fucking awesome. And then right after they kill him or whatever, they realize that they got the wrong guy, and the guy that is still out there,
and
it's
Jesus took that for us.
I don't know how to respond to that comment.
He took the torture so that we didn't have to.
That's right. Yeah.
That's
usually
serious. Caleb's line. Caleb's usually the one
throwing out the sarcastic,
irreverent.
I was being serious.
So St. Clair, what do you're not an anarchist?
We've already talked about this, man.
Yeah, well,
have we?
The last time
Probably
I think you were
you a socialist?
No.
I'm a don't give a fuckus.
That's kind of
at one point, and this man's just been the liquor talking. But you were arguing.
I am the liquor.
I am the liquor.
R.I.P.
Yeah, true that. Oh, that was great.
You were arguing for an oligarchy?
I think that no matter what form of government you choose, it's going to have pros and cons. Okay. And I'm for the one that
anarchy means essentially means no government.
I'm for the one that keeps the trash out the most, and the science advancement, whatever it may be.
Science is just another fucking organized religion, dude.
Yeah, but there's a oh wow.
Mainstream science. I'm not saying actual science.
Okay, see, you're not talking mainstream science. You're talking religious science. Mainstream science has always been the same science, the scientific method.
Mainstream science is a religion.
Yeah, but he's talking about stuff they can't prove, like evolution, and you're talking about the scientific method. I don't think y'all are disagreeing as much as
you're including in mainstream science stuff that society defines as science. I don't give a fuck what society defines as science. Science has never changed. The scientific method.
Yes.
You have observations, you form a hypothesis, you collect your evidence, you test it. Everybody else has to test it, and if you're not wrong, then you turn it into a theory.
Yes.
And the ultimate thing is that science can prove nothing.
Yes.
Okay.
And that even a scientific law can change with new evidence.
Yes, because science can ultimately prove nothing. It's just your best guess.
Exactly.
So that is mainstream science.
I agree with you, but I think
don't think it's presented that way in the
mainstream
mainstream.
science
Yeah.
is corrupted, and they present these results and these things not like for necessarily like the main basic things or the physics of the way our world works.
But that's not science, though.
But like all kinds of different. It is.
No,
like,
it's not. Either it's science or it's not.
Well, that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying, though. But
I think you're saying it's been like hijacked.
They present pseudoscience as science and say that it's science when it's not.
Okay, so that doesn't discredit mainstream science. That discredits stupidity.
What I mean, you're misunderstanding when I say
mainstream science.
Yeah, right. So yeah,
when I say mainstream science, I'm talking about like the mainstream media, but not them, but like that type of like the scientific institutions that are set up and backed by all the same people that all these fucking corrupt corporations
pay
are backed
for a certain
by.
outcome.
And I think you're talking about how you can listen to some of these fucking idiot atheists that they will argue straight logic down the road at a Christian and just tear them apart. But then they'll be like, oh, it's settled science, evolution's a fact.
Yeah,
right.
It's stupid.
So at that point, they're no longer scientists.
Yeah.
Like, I was watching, did you watch the Rogan podcast with Richard Dawkins? It was a little while back.
Yeah.
I didn't see that.
Like, it was so fucking hilarious. This guy sits there and, he's like, the biggest atheist on the planet, basically, one of the most popular. And he is talking about how he doesn't want, or he was talking about how sick it is. Like, there were these churches in England that were doing programs for children and teaching them about Jesus, but they were using like kind of like some type of scare tactics and stuff, like typical church shit, really.
Yeah.
Right? You know what I mean? Like, and it was like I disagree with that as well. I was like, okay, yeah, and he was like actively trying to attack them and things like this, and was saying, oh, it's so horrible that they're attacking children at such a young age and trying to manipulate them and brainwash them. And then in the next fucking breath, I shit you not, he goes, that's why I wrote this book. And I'm marketing it for as young of kids as possible. And he said I was trying to go for a younger target group, but my publisher said no, it needs to be at least like 9 to 15. And he was trying to write a book for kids under 9 and brainwash them with
his scare them away from the church with scare tactics.
Yeah, with his bullshit fucking religion that he believes in, because atheism is a religion just like Christianity is.
I'll give you that. It's anti-religion, so it's a religion.
Yeah, and like you can't prove it either way, so you believe in it. It's all based on faith. You know? And it was just so funny that he went from what they're doing is so horrible, I condemn it, and I actively fight against it. This is what I'm doing, and it's exactly the same thing.
He just wants them to be on his side.
Listen,
pick my team. Fuck that team.
When I first started like questioning Christianity, one of the guys that I came across was this dude Matt Delahunty, and like he has this podcast called The Atheist Experience where he'll have people call in and he'll ask them what they believe and why, just trying to get them to think about what they're saying or whatever. And when he is arguing that, like the way that he argues it, it's just like I said, it's straight logic. It is like he makes them think about it, and he never loses really with them. But then like somebody will call in, because all these people are lay people, they don't know what the fuck they're talking about anyway. And somebody will call in and they'll say something. He's also super left, super progressive. Anyone that hates Christianity is my buddy. And so like he talks about science and all this stuff, and then he in the same breath will just be like, well, we know there's no difference between the genders, and if you even say that there might be, you're a fucking bigot, and I'll hang up on you. And you're just like, dude, I don't. You can't see it, but you can even hear it when he talks about like his childhood. He hates Christianity so much that he becomes completely illogical when it comes to that. And he will take. He sees the right as that's the Christian side, so I'll embrace everything on the left. And I don't understand how somebody can be that kind of detachment.
And that's why I'm purple, because you have to cherry pick and choose from everything and take little bits from everything, because no one has anything right.
You can't cherry pick trash.
But you can't contradict yourself with it either.
I haven't.
Yeah, dude, I'm just saying, bro, you're purple. Anyway, to return to your original question, the only
Purple's
reason
the color of royal, so thank you.
you're the royal dumbass. The only reason that I am more so for oligarchy, aristocracy, and others is that so all forms of government are oppression. I will give you that. All forms. If you need a government, then you've lost. It's immediately a restriction upon your freedom. But we've talked about this before. There will never not be a government, so I'm not going to vote and I'm never going to participate in it. But the method that I find most beneficial is oligarchy, aristocracy, just because it is the one that has been responsible for keeping out the chaos and keeping in the order and the infrastructure and all that's necessary to further. For example, all right, so United States. It was an aristocracy. They wrote the Constitution, they wrote the Declaration of Independence, but originally the only people that were allowed to vote were landowners. That's an aristocracy. People that had wealth, people that had, I don't know what the original requirements were, but it was obvious that you don't let people that don't own anything, that don't possess anything, that don't have the brain capacity to advance themselves to vote, because look what you have. You've got the guy that's been on psych meds for 35 years going in and casting a vote. He's not in his right mind. The only thing that he's going to vote for is decay, because he can't even sort out right from wrong.
That's why I don't think democracy is a moral thing.
Yeah.
I just don't. It's hard for me to go the other side because that's immoral too. Like the other side of it. But yes, democracy is stupid. You don't let these fucking idiots decide anything.
Yeah. So
Look at them.
I'm not for it. I mean, honestly, yes, I would prefer zero government. But, I mean, we're on the same page there. I'm just not going to ever read anything about it or spend any time fighting for it or necessarily discussing it, because it will never be a reality. As long as there is one incompetent person, that incompetent person will want power rather than competency, because it's easier. Mm-hmm. It's easier. It's easier to try to control the competent than it is to become competent yourself.
Yeah.
And then
you act like the victim, and then
there's always going to be trash, no matter how well you try to. No matter if you leave them to themselves and they all wind up killing themselves, somebody's going to make a wrong decision and produce some trash. And so then the trash is going to vote for the people in power, and then it's just... So at least, the aristocracy and the oligarchy are the people that possess stuff and know how to keep those possessions. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
But don't you think that's what it actually is, anyways?
Sure, yeah.
And
that's
that
what I'm saying.
all this democracy stuff is just a game. It's not
that's
real.
what I think. I think that it's all.
Sure, I'll give you that.
Yeah,
I think anarchy is more of a recognition of reality, rather than like, hey, I wish this would happen. It's happening.
It turns into a cause very quickly, just like anything. Are you using anarchy to recognize reality and then using it for your personal advantage, or are you trying to convert people to anarchy?
I think it's already there now. I think that's the natural state of things. We can put governments in place, but it's really just the stronger people that are trying to control it's the hierarchy there.
Yeah.
And then the only thing you can really do, because at some point they get so strong you can't really do anything, and the smartest thing is probably just like you were saying, unplug. Don't worry about it, because it won't fucking affect you probably.
Oh, you hear that, Austin?
Taking your taxes, huh? Yeah.
He won't listen, but I gotta get it.
Yeah.
And I think it's good to.
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, I think it's good to. I think it is a good moral thing to tell these things to people and try to convince people of that.
Yeah.
Because I think it's the right way.
Sure. I mean, if individuals change their mind and the way they live their lives, then it could affect things on a larger scale.
Yeah. There's no reason to go bomb a capital or something like that.
Yeah,
you just have to change people's minds.
Yeah, you've got to just talk to individuals and try to change minds and get them to be more freedom-minded and not so brainwashed by everything. And then things on a larger scale could change. It's not happening overnight. It's probably not happening in the next 10 years. It's not happening in our lifetime.
Yeah.
But, if it is the truth, you would. It seems like we should say it.
Yeah.
No?
Yeah.
Okay, well, what about just live it?
Exactly.
Yeah.
I don't know,
So not trying to convert people, but just like in your day to day of living it.
If you so choose, like to share it, but I don't share it.
Sure, I get it. That's fine.
I think that's where we're gonna differ. I think it's a waste of time.
You don't. Damn, there's no way. Like when you're hanging out with whoever it is, like your neighbor or whatever, like your shit spills out. I know you. Like it may not
amongst you guys.
You're telling me they think you think like the guy down the street.
No, they don't think that, but they don't know what I think.
Y'all don't have any type of conversation that isn't just
I'll give you a classic
shallow?
example. I'll give you a classic example of where you run up against dumbass after dumbass after dumbass, and eventually you're just like, I'm not going to tell you guys. All right, so we have a progressive tax system, and everybody and their dumbass mother thinks that if you work some overtime, that you're paying extra taxes. And you're not at the end of the year unless you break into the next tax bracket.
Who thinks that, Daniel?
A lot of people, dude. And
they shouldn't be allowed to vote.
And so the first couple of times it happened, I would try to very gently say, I don't think that's the way that it works. It's progressive. Your first 20,000, you're subject to this.
They're just holding out more. They're taking I know this because I'm 100% commission. So if I have a bad month and I have a great month, they can't do anything but take out what I did that month.
They're trying to estimate.
Yes.
So if you don't make any money one month, you don't pay any tax.
No.
But if you make $50,000 the next month, they're going, wait. Yeah. Multiply this by 12 months, and he's going to be at $600,000.
Yep.
That's what we're going to try to approximate his tax percentage at. But these idiots have looked me in the face and gone, yeah, it's not an advantage to work overtime. I'd rather take straight pay. Like, that's the level. Like, it's just like, so the first couple times, optimistic. I mean, this is a small example. You go, I don't think that's the way that it works. You try to explain it without getting people upset. It's like, it's always to your best advantage if you have, is
that you?
I probably, yeah. Wow, technology. You try to explain to them, if you have more time than you do money, it's to your best advantage to get to work. And then after a while, you're just like, yeah, all right. It does suck. Taxes. Yep, they tax more.
You're right.
Until that person takes it upon themselves to stop surfing Facebook and numbing their mind with TV and going, do I know that? Why? Why? What do I actually know? What do I not know? It's pointless.
Yeah.
It's pointless.
Yeah, it is pointless to certain people. You have to judge if this person is able to actually comprehend. Perfect example. Last place I worked, there was this fucking idiot. We had to congregate like once a month to try and give each other referrals. This moron named Phil that used to always. I
Jason says names.
Hated him. Like I didn't even know him other than from this thing, and it would be like everybody standing around the bar, and Phil would come up. You guys have a wine list? No, it's a fucking hotel. They don't have a wine list. Phil, fuck off. And so, anyway, he's sitting there.
Jason already judged him.
Oh, yeah. He was stupid. You could just tell. And, like, so we were sitting there, and they had just, I don't know, something political was happening. And it was before the thing started. And he was standing around. He's like, yeah, man, this Rand Paul guy, he just tried to propose this bill where every bill could only be about one topic. He goes, but that's not the way things work. You can't get things done. You know, you got to give a little bit, take a little bit, hide something in there. You know, that's how. Phil, what the fuck? Like, you're so stupid. That guy, there's no point.
That is insane.
Yeah, if you're that stupid.
He's literally giving them permission to not review what they pass in along.
Yeah.
Yeah. See, that's why, yeah.
Yeah,
I mean, I talk to you guys about it, but that's what I'm saying. Just fuck them.
That's like a straight example of manufactured consent because they've been doing that for so long. That's the way they normally do it.
Yeah.
He's just consented to the fact that that's how it should be done.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
That's not. No, that's not manufactured. That's willing consent. That person wasn't brainwashed. That person chose a long time ago to just surrender their brain to other people thinking for them.
Yeah, but like, I don't know. Is that not a form of brainwashing? You don't think their minds are free until they're shaped by a society of some sort?
Sure, they're free until they give up their mind.
Yeah, because there's a lot of people out there who are doing things to brainwash them and to take their mind.
Yeah.
And it's much easier. They're so good at it that's why they take so many minds. That's why there's so many sheep.
I think if the government wasn't brainwashing them, they would just be religious.
It may be kind of that natural law thing. Every time you give that little bit, it's harder for you to fucking get it back. Like, Phil, a long time ago, believed some fucking bullshit, and now he just incremental, turn on the TV every night, just fucking stare at it.
I mean, listen, I get what you guys are saying about manufactured consent, but even if there wasn't an entity actively instituting programs to try to keep people from the truth, you still have idiots in Timbuktu that think the Thunder God killed their child. It's the individual. It's them. It's people waking up and being lazy.
The Thunder God didn't kill someone's child.
Okay, because the Thunder God didn't. Because the Thunder God doesn't exist.
Can you
it's
prove
just like
that?
an electrostatic reaction.
Can you prove that a Thunder God doesn't exist?
Yeah, I can.
You tell me.
He does
Prove it to me.
No.
This is inverted.
This is where we're gonna have to go back to the
It's the
mainstream
negative. You
science.
have to prove
If
it.
you make a claim, an affirmative claim, okay, the Thunder God exists, the burden of proof is upon you.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yes.
That
But-
native is going to have to use a series of clicks and whistles to convince
But-
us that he has proof.
If
This
that's
is
okay,
correct.
But what
okay.
but
So
you're saying
you
that
can't
it
prove a
doesn't.
universal. You can't prove a universal claim. What's the phrase? You can't prove a universal claim by example, but you can disprove a universal claim by example. So, if, for example, there are no red slug bugs on the road. If I see one red slug bug, it completely disproves that claim. The Thunder God did not kill your child. All I need is one example of a lightning strike and thunder occurring and the child not dying to disprove that. Boom, done. You already know that from personal example. The burden of proof is upon you, not me.
I mean, not me, but yeah.
Upon your argument.
But I mean, you said it doesn't exist, and I was saying,
I just proved it. You only need.
You proved it.
Okay, so that's how you do it, dude.
But
I
you
don't
can't-
understand.
you
It's
can't
literally
actually prove it.
I don't think
a
that's-
foundation of
it's like a
mathematics.
paradox. You can't
It's
actually
not
prove it.
No, you can disprove a universal claim by example. There are no red slug bugs on the road. One red slug bug disproves.
But there was
I
one
give you
Thunder
that,
God.
but the thing that you just said doesn't disprove a Thunder God.
Yes, it does.
No,
the
but-
Thunder God killed my child last night. Okay, so I'm in Timbuktu, and this person claims that the Thunder God killed my child last night.
Yep. I'm with you.
Okay, so next time there's a thunder and nobody's child dies, the Thunder God didn't kill your child.
Well, no, that just means the Thunder God didn't choose to kill somebody's child. Or it could mean. There
Or it
still could
could-
be a
or it
Thunder
could
God that
just-
killed that
the
child.
it could have just been normal thunder, normal lightning,
Mm-hmm.
and it
Fair
wasn't.
enough.
It wasn't Thor.
Normal thunder, normal lightning. Okay, yeah. Okay, I guess
Thor
all,
doesn't-
I guess
Thor
all I
doesn't
can say is
control
that the
all
thunder,
lightning
the
and
thunder
thunder.
was not the cause of your child's death.
But the
That's
burden
all I can say.
The burden
Yes.
of proof is on the person
Yes,
claiming
agreed.
that there's a Thunder
100%.
All right, fair enough. I'll have to subtract God from the thunder argument.
It wasn't the thunder; it was the lightning.
Thunder.
Thunder's
Lightning,
just the
thunder.
sound lightning makes.
Kind of interchangeable. No shit.
I just making sure you knew that. Okay. You know, we like to try to teach people things on this podcast.
God. It's educational.
Yeah.
I know what this is.
It's one of the things.
This is-
On my first rodeo. Caleb.
So do you guys think within like the next week or two, or maybe longer, that they'll like overturn the election results and say Trump is president?
I do.
I don't know.
I think their main purpose is keep people fighting, and that's perfect.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody that wanted Trump went to bed thinking, fuck yeah, Wisconsin, Michigan, we won. And then they get up the next morning, there's all this fraud, so all the people on the right get mad, the left just starts celebrating.
There's already tons
Yep.
of memes circulating Facebook about like jokes and stuff about how like, oh, you know, there's all of a sudden 160,000 votes showed up overnight in
Yes,
different
yeah,
ways
you
and
got
stuff.
all
And
that.
like all the conservatives are already claiming all of the fraud and the you know.
And they're both wrong, but at least the conservatives understand, you know, the three branches of government, and they don't think we just have a dictator in the White House or whatever. Most of the leftists don't have any idea about that. So they're just going to wake up and go, they stole it.
Yeah.
They're going to riot if they do that.
Yeah,
yeah.
the whole
Yeah.
country.
But they
will
want
burn.
You
them
just
to.
said they wanted them to keep the fighting at bay.
No, I want them. They want
They
everybody
want
fighting.
They want it to burn.
yeah.
Right?
Okay,
I mean,
I
wouldn't
misheard
it be the greatest, dividing factor
I'll be so
to
glad
bring
to be back in
Trump?
Iowa when that happens.
Divide and conquer.
Yeah, I mean, think about it. If Trump prevails
Oh,
at the end
yeah.
of this,
Inauguration, he's up there.
There's going to be so many people that get tear gassed. It's not even going to be a
it's
joke.
going to be horrible chaos, real chaos.
Nah.
Like,
No, dude, you're overestimating, dude.
In the major cities, not here. It ain't gonna
Dude,
just happen.
even in the major cities. I mean, I can't say
Rioting,
all of it,
like
but
it's gonna be-
the only group that's going to be riding with any efficiency are the ones that are already high on the testosterone. What do you think? The little white bitch boys in the basement are going to be doing anything?
I'm not like. I'm just saying they've been burning shit down for the past year.
It's going to be funny.
They've been allowed to, and they'll
There's a
continue
lot
to
of,
be
like,
allowed to. It wouldn't.
Incels that are a part of those groups, but they also there's a lot of paid protesters and riders that are out there that are not.
You know that for a fact?
Yes.
Can you prove that?
Yes, actually.
Can you?
Yeah,
Okay.
I can't pull it up right now, but I could.
You've seen their bank
within 3
statements?
days, I could do it.
You seen the actual cash transaction?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure there's actually documentation of the paid riders and stuff. It's been reported on by numerous different outlets.
Oh, okay.
Mostly Soros funded.
I'm sorry. I find your evidence insufficient.
St. Clair, you would have loved the Millington Black Lives Matter.
I saw that. I saw your pictures.
Did you? I didn't realize this, but I walked in to Smoke Signals. He was there, and he was like, he said if you'd have watched him walk up, he's like, there's these big old African American gentlemen in the back, and they've got these little white girls in front of them as a buffer for the police.
Yep.
All the little like
Yeah.
Now that's the
white
biggest
girls
bit.
were out in front, and then
Don't
all
get
of
me
the
started on that.
people of color were
The
in the back.
non-existent Martin Luther J. King will be repeated, or Martin, whatever
Martin
it is.
Luther J. King.
I don't know where I got the J from.
I mean, that's his new name.
On election day, when I went through Millington, I was going to the store. There was one gay white dude standing out with a BLM sign. Just one.
That's not just election day. She sent me that picture of that like last Thursday. Like, yeah, he was just out there. Just, Black Lives Matter.
I think he's just really trying to find a black boyfriend. Like, I think
Probably,
that's
yeah.
his move, right? Like, someone's gonna.
Grindr, perhaps.
Yeah, seriously, like
More efficient than your crayon sign you're holding up there, buddy.
How sad. I
so.
would really like to become like a covert psychologist and be able to talk to people like that. 'Cause
Yeah.
their brain misfiring. I'm fascinated with whatever mechanism is making that
Yeah.
happen.
Yeah.
It's definitely interesting.
It's like that Bill Burr talking about, I mean, he's talking about religious people. He's like, you know, they just get their heads rubbed at church like, that's a good boy. And then they stand up and they're like, Jesus hates gays. And he's like, they're all dead. And you're like, I thought I was a good boy. That's that guy. He thought he was down in Memphis. Everybody told him he was a good boy for holding the sign up.
Yeah. Just like, what difference do you think you're making?
Right?
Yeah.
Saving black lives, dude. Of course.
Here he is, St. Clair.
Oh God.
Is that the guy you saw?
Yep.
Yeah.
That's him.
This was, yeah, that wasn't election day.
So he goes out there every Tuesday.
Must not have a regular work schedule.
Shocking.
Most protesters and rioters don't.
I know. What a depressing existence.
This is unrelated, but it's also kind of depressing. But don't worry, man. My hand's just resting on your back.
Well, the
It's
first
all right.
time I was like, I'll forgive that, but then you did it again.
But I was reading this article. I didn't even finish it because it was just so dumb. But I don't remember the guy's name. But there's this African American activist who is a part of some kind of like racial watch type thing where he's just calls out people for being racist, you know. And the main part of it was that he was saying that the term legal vote was racist.
Probably gonna wrap it up pretty soon.
All right, I'm just curious.
Legal vote was racist. Go.
Yeah.
But so one of the things that it said was a racist term was personal responsibility.
If that's just not,
And I was
if that's just
like,
not admitting what you don't want to,
what you don't want to have to deal with.
like I don't how.
And also, is that not the most racist thing?
It
ever
is,
been
because
said?
you literally said this group of people that are calling this racist, that are grouped together by race, have a problem with this term overall.
Yeah.
You just said that group has a problem with personal responsibility.
Right. And if you mention it, you're targeting
So
us.
stupid.
Like, is that not offensive?
Yeah,
If you're a black guy,
that's
I feel
what
like I'd be
that's what I
offended.
was thinking. I was just like, that's insane. Like, and that's why, like I said, I didn't even finish reading the article. Like, once I saw that part of it, I was just like, this is
Some of the mental
ridiculous.
hurdles that they jump through.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
It's crazy.
It really is. Their life just
How does someone get to that point? Like, how do you...
manufactured consent.
Give it to him.
It's just,
I don't know.
Is it
it's
brainwashing, or
postmodernism,
is
man.
it...
like it's you've been convinced there is no such thing as actual objective right and wrong, and so you're just arguing for what can give your group the most power.
Yeah.
It's fucking... Yeah.
And I think there's a lot of people who are essentially brainwashed into believing the ideology, and I'm not accusing this guy of being like this, but I think there's a lot of people who on the left and the right who are just capitalizing off of the fact that you can make some decent money or at least get some form of like clout by saying either extreme leftist things or extreme, right-wing things on a social media platform and get a good following. And it's like, some of those people don't even believe that bullshit probably.
Yeah. That's probably true.
And like I said, I'm not saying that. I don't know. That guy might 100%, but
It is funny you can get just by not... Josh has a friend that's not really political one way or the other, but he was trying to promote his band. And so he got on Twitter and he just started everything that Trump would say. He'd be like, "Thank you, Mr. President. This is great. Thank you for what you're doing for our country," or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And he just started getting follower after follower after follower.
Dude, it's so sad.
it really is. It's fucked up.
If they didn't
because
listen to their music, they just followed them.
Yes, it was because of that. And then his
Yeah.
plan was to get all these followers and then try to get his music out there or whatever.
See, he's so part of the problem.
Well, he's an idiot, but
I think that's just smart. Capitalizing on a terrible situation.
That's immoral, Caleb.
when you're
Intentionally taking advantage of people's willful ignorance. That's immoral, dude.
yeah, Soros.
I can give you. I was
right.
making a joke.
All right, fair enough.
On a serious note, I mean, I could give you that. I do think that it's a smart move, like immoral or not. Like that's a smart thing to do. Like in that case,
How is that smart?
it worked.
Smart in a strictly financial sense, but
I don't
not
know
smart
what it
at the
is.
expense of your soul.
Yeah.
That
Well,
doesn't
that's
exist. But so to speak, you know what I'm
going
saying?
into that. We're about to talk about souls.
No, I just clarifying.
Dark
Okay.
souls.
I didn't want any of
Yeah,
I didn't want
yeah.
your vast audience to think that I was into souls.
Dude, there's nothing wrong with being into Dark Souls games, man. You don't
Those
have to be a
games
nerd.
suck.
You serious?
It's probably because I suck at it.
Yeah,
I spent like
you just
4 hours
suck.
trying to work on my parry and couldn't get it down. And I just said, "Fuck this."
It's all about dodging, don't parry.
See, somebody
fucking
told me that
parry.
once you get your parry down, it makes it way easier. So I spent way too much time trying to get the parry
Fuck-
down.
I mean, fuck parry and dodge. Just roll.
We're just going to talk
Let's
about
see.
video games. I'm leaving.
No, that'll be the extent of it.
Figured
You
better
know what's
early than
crazy
Big
is that
David
when I
Hunt.
said I'm not into Souls, I was literally about to follow it up with, and I'm not talking about Dark Souls. And
Yeah, I mean, anytime I hear souls, I just immediately think of that.
Yeah.
Because that's
All
what
right.
they're referred to as.
Sorry, guys.
It's fun. Never played them.
Don't.
You would hate it.
Why? Why do you say that, Caleb?
It's really fucking hard.
And you can't
What
handle
the hell?
You wouldn't enjoy it because
He
while you're
just-
playing it, it would dawn upon you
He
that
just-
these individuals that built this game don't have any sufficient real challenges, that they did like a backwards gymnastics, ridiculous somersault pike 10 off the balance beam to try to create a challenge to provide significance to their life by playing an overly ridiculous, difficult game.
What the fuck did you just
See, I
say?
feel like I understand exactly what he said.
I'm sorry. I knew Caleb was going to have a problem with that.
I know,
heard that shit, didn't
No,
you?
I just like, there was so much in there, and I was just like,
He essentially said the people that made this are worthless pieces of shit that they
that's
can't
not-
challenge themselves, so they have to make themselves feel good by
Video
making
game
these
porn.
pointless challenges.
Video game porn.
I mean, maybe,
I'm not
yeah,
knocking-
but
I'm not
they,
knocking it. I mean, I was subject to it.
They make pretty much the most challenging, difficult games on the market. Probably the best, like,
It's a game.
third-person
It's a game.
action-adventure game.
It's a game. It doesn't make you any money. It doesn't
It makes them
advance.
tons
It
of
doesn't
money.
advance your skill set.
It's
doesn't
actually
advance
not
your
true.
life.
It advances your hand-eye coordination a lot.
I said that when I was 7 to my dad.
What was his
They've actually
response?
done like tests and stuff on people, and it does like a
What
lot.
was his response to that?
He probably yelled at me. I don't know. I honestly don't. That was not fair. I don't remember.
Oh, sorry, my bad.
You're good. Hey, you know what advances hand-eye coordination? Juggling.
It does.
But
Chopping wood.
But you're not juggling. Chopping wood. There you go.
I love chopping wood.
I can juggle.
Typing. You can spend if you spend as many hours in a serious gamer's life within 3-4 months practicing your typing, you'd be able to get a decent job. You'd be a secretary, but whatever.
I got a decent job, and I don't know how to type.
That's right.
I may not have this job after the first week.
That's right. That's all I'm saying.
God.
You're gonna have this job. Look, if it's got health insurance, keep the job. You don't want that bill hitting you.
Yeah.
Or
We're
the
about to get universal health care, so no worries, guys.
It doesn't matter.
Universal basic
it
income.
won't. No.
You can just quit your
I
job,
want my 12
not
grand
work,
a year.
and yeah, they'll just pay you.
Like the,
Probably live
I don't
on
know if he
12
said it on a
grand a year.
podcast, but all that's gonna happen is the average amount it takes to live for an entire year will elevate by $12,000. That's all
Yep.
that will happen.
That's exactly what it is.
Yep.
All the salesmen will go,
What do you think about
this person
the,
that doesn't have any money has $12,000. Hey, Jackie, jack up the price.
Yep.
What do you think about the COVID vaccine? Are you gonna take it?
I don't want to. I don't know if it's real. Don't know if it's not. Don't know if it's effective. I don't really give a shit. I don't. On principle, I don't buy the first generation of anything. I don't buy first generation self-driving cars. I don't get LASIK surgery. I don't none of that shit because it always sucks and it's still an experiment. The only way that they're gonna get me is if I have to have it to work.
That's what.
Which
We
I'm
were
still,
talking about that
I'm
earlier.
still gonna be like,
Yeah.
fuck you. I'm looking into all the loopholes possible.
Well, see,
Just because
that's
I
the
don't do the
thing,
first generation
is
of anything.
They're
Fuck it.
not. They're not gonna say. They're not gonna claim that it's mandatory. But the way that it's gonna work is essentially is if you don't get it, you either won't be able to. Most places like you won't be able to go to work. You won't be able to use public transportation. You won't be able to fly out of the country, or on anywhere in the country. You won't be able to fly on an airplane. There's a chance that if you don't take it, they might take your kids from you. It's essentially what they're doing is they're using the vaccine as a social credit score the way China does, where they, surveil people and like depending upon their actions, their social credit score goes down, and if it's a certain amount low, then you can't use public transportation or you can't hang out with certain people and this and that. And that's exactly what they're going to do.
I believe it when I see it.
They've already said all this.
Yeah, so the sky is pink. I said it. Doesn't make it true. I believe it when I see it.
It's too late. Then.
I will too, but that's
too late then.
No, it's not.
Mm-hmm.
No, see, that's how they get you. It's never. No, see, all right. We're gonna hit another segue. Segue.
How many segues do you
time
have,
is it?
man?
I don't know what time it is. I'm just saying, man.
Nine.
Okay, so the prisons are already too full. How are they going to go door to door and take your kids? They're not.
They're not going to lock people up for
How are they going to take your
taking
kids?
the vaccine.
How are they going to take your kids or do any of that? They don't have the manpower. They don't have the resources. All right, look, I'll give you a classic example of where the boogeyman, and I bought into it as well. It's all an empty threat, and they just expect the majority of people to follow through with it when they make this baseless threat that has zero actual fucking backing. Obamacare, right? Oh God, what was the fucking? I'm gonna have to pay a fine. You have to pay a fine if you don't have health insurance. I paid the fine because I didn't have health insurance. The actual clauses within the Obamacare, all it said was if you are entitled to a refund when you file your taxes and you don't have insurance, we won't give you the refund up to the point of the fine. Didn't know that. I paid the fine, but smart people would have read it and gone, all right, I'll just adjust my taxes so that I'm not entitled to a refund. There was no reason to pay the fine legally, but everybody did it. I did it.
I didn't have it, and I didn't pay the fine, and I still got a refund. I don't know how that
Did
happened.
you say that you didn't have it?
I said I didn't have it.
Because you could just check the box that said you did have it.
No, you
I said
said that you didn't have it, and it got checked. Yeah, you didn't pay the fine.
I didn't pay nothing.
Oh, accounting error. I mean, the IRS isn't perfect. Yeah, I'm just saying that, like the
actual
actual
get me on that one day.
The actual law itself, it did not obligate you to pay the fine.
Yeah, I didn't.
And so that's what I'm saying. It's
though,
like they're saying this. They say it.
But,
Never comes fucking true.
But if
if most
it might
people
not
go
become
through-
true because if the scare tactic works, then they won't have to.
Right.
But if it doesn't work, they will do these things.
And it'll work enough to where the outliers they can round up because there's so few of them.
Nah. See that's where we're going to differ. I don't think they're concerned with the outliers, except when they make national news. As long as they've got 95%, 99%, they don't give a fuck what the 1% is doing.
Like
because they've got their revenue.
I think it's like 52% of Americans that were polled are against the vaccine, and 46% of the African American population is against the vaccine.
All right.
Which is
it depends upon
not
your polls.
good for them. Well, yes, obviously, but like those are the poll. I don't really buy into polls. That shit can be fucking twisted any way you want. But that's the most recent numbers that I've heard, and if that's true, then they have a problem on their hands, and they're gonna have to do something to get people to take the vaccine because they want. I mean, Bill Gates is trying to get this vaccine to everyone in the world, not just the United States.
All right. Good for him.
And they said it had a 90% success rate. Well, some of the people in the 10% died, and some of the other people had like permanent brain damage.
See, I don't know how to comment on that because I'm going to resort to. I'm trying to remember the proper phrase. Don't believe anything you hear and only half of what you see. I don't know how to comment on that because I think it's all fucking bullshit. Okay. You didn't see any of that. You didn't see those people die. You didn't see the administering of the vaccine.
But I heard it from people who are actually looking at this stuff and did see and did find the documents and did read the things.
Documents can be fabricated. Documentation is proof of nothing.
I hate talking to you.
I know.
I love you though.
Yeah, I love you too. Listen, all I'm saying
I like
is
your optimism about it all, though. Like, I really do. It makes me feel better.
Good.
Thanks,
Somebody
man.
needs to.
Yeah,
Between Austonius and this guy, fuck.
Debbie Downers, man.
They are.
I'm not a downer
Oh God,
about
the
it.
robots are coming. Terminators arise.
I'm not a downer about it. I'm just looking at the truth of things.
I don't think it's crazy to look at it and be
reality
like
of
it's a
the world and the
possibility, but
future.
I do like your stance on it. Where like, man, they're not as strong as you think is they want you to believe, right?
I mean, I could be
Well,
completely
it's mostly
wrong.
a bluff.
I could be
that
completely
before.
wrong. I'll admit that.
Sure, right? But
You
so
hear that,
could
Austin?
they, right? So it's just a. You both have your theories on it.
Yeah.
I like yours better.
It was well documented that the Earth was the center of our galaxy. The documentation is that. I hate talking to you, but I love you. All I'm saying is documentation.
there's some good evidence that the Earth
documentation
is
of a
flat.
lie is just documentation of a lie.
Sure.
Reality. I love that word so much.
What was the last thing you said, Cal?
I said there's a good possibility that the Earth is flat.
You know what's crazy? Is I was going for a run the other night, and I'm on night, so I'm in the middle of
And
the
you were
night.
like, man, this is so flat. I think the Earth is flat.
I'm on the middle of the night, and I was just like, flat earthers are so fucking stupid. Because literally, if I stood out there, it got dark, and I saw this constellation, say the Big Dipper. If the Earth was flat, I should be able to stand there for 12 fucking hours and turn my shoulder, and the constellation should still be there. But the constellation is not in an exact mirror image behind me. It's rotated closer or farther away from the
It's
horizon.
a hologram on the dome, and they're moving it.
Yep. Burden of proof is upon you, motherfucker.
I mean, that's
that's
literally
what
what
they
they
say.
think. Like everything else is
That's what
moving.
flat earthers say. Is
Hey,
that
so we're
live
we're
in a
we're
dome.
in a freaking snow globe thing in
Yeah.
Bobber.
Yeah.
Okay.
No, like seriously, that's their like they've even like posted videos going, watch this rocket hit the dome barrier, and the video like looks weird, but it was probably just a fucking special effects made
Hit
video.
the dome barrier.
And like it's like a rocket and it goes up and it
Go
hits
work
and
some
it like
overtime.
it looks like some like
on this
fucking
overtime
Halo
stuff.
like bubble shield type like where it just like hits and it's kind of like a little blue wave and the rocket like explodes or something, and it was like really fucking dumb. But
How much
yeah,
time
that
do people
shit is
spend on
it's bullshit.
that? Whatever.
But maybe it's not.
Didn't some guy just die because he built his own rocket and tried to?
I don't know. I
Go
know.
up
I
and
know
take
that
a
he's
picture.
been that he's been trying to do that for a while. Did he actually
pretty sure
die?
He's dead.
Jesus.
I'm pretty sure I read that.
He was going to shoot straight up and prove that it was flat.
Yeah.
He's been like building his own rocket for the past like
Kodak camera.
4, 5, 6 years now. Like
did
basically since the
he proved it,
flat
and the
Earth
government
theory
killed
came
him.
out.
He didn't even need to build a rocket. Just take a hot air balloon,
built
grab
a
an
rocket.
oxygen tank.
David Blaine
He's
just
so
did that.
fucking stupid. I'm sorry, but that guy is so fucking stupid.
He was.
All you gotta do is grab an oxygen tank, ride a balloon up into the atmosphere, and then jump. You're gonna see the curvature
David
of the
Blaine
Earth.
just did that.
Did he?
Yeah, but he held the balloons.
Oh, really?
Well,
He was attached to him, so he probably was doing something.
Well, he was
shitty.
attached to him, but he wanted to do the whole like kid grabs balloons and floats off into.
That guy's weird. Man.
And so he did, and he went up and then popped the balloons, and he actually went up without a parachute and put it on while he was up there, and then came down.
That guy's on some shit.
Pretty
that's
wild.
Legit. If that's real, he's on some shit.
Yeah.
This is the only thing, and I'm saying this seriously about the whole. Like, look. First off, I'm going to say this. I believe that the Earth is round.
Okay.
Okay. But
I was about to attack him.
One thing that bothers me is that every bit of footage from whether it be a SpaceX launch or the old ones or the Red Bull guy who did like the world's longest skydive, every single one of them uses a fisheye lens on the camera, which curves the frame.
Okay.
And one of the most previous SpaceX launches that they did that I caught, like I just was scrolling on Facebook while it was happening live and I watched it. And they have on one angle of the rocket, they have a fisheye lens, and as the rocket's going up and it's getting out, where you can see the Earth, like in, back, it's not got that nice round curve to it. But the other camera that they switched to, it's just fucking straight, flat across. And I'm just like, and it's not a fisheye lens, you can tell because it's a full frame. And when they switch to the one where you can tell that the Earth is curved like you would think that it would look, the corners of the frame are black like a fisheye lens does. It doesn't put it, you know what I mean? It doesn't fill out the full thing. Shit. And I'm always just like, why the fuck did they do that on everything? Anytime they go out of space, they use a fisheye lens. Why?
Got to make it look round, boys.
I think I believe the Earth is round, but I haven't been to outer space.
No one has.
So I don't know.
No one's ever been to outer
Yeah.
space.
It's the same kind of thing. Like I've just been told that by people.
That guy made his own rocket. Yeah, he did.
Yeah. What a waste.
Government got him.
A lot of people were like claiming he was a phony too, that he was just like doing all of it to get media attention, and that he didn't really believe the Earth was flat. And
he showed them.
Yeah, he did.
He's dead.
Yep.
Showed them
He could have
straight
just
into
gone
the
to
ground.
the beach and filmed a fucking ship sinking as it sails away. You need to build a fucking rocket.
Can I tie this back to Christianity for a second?
No,
Yeah.
why? We
Yes.
went the whole conversation without this.
Because I hear people a lot of times they're like, why would the apostles die for something that wasn't true? Well, they might have thought it was true. The way this guy thought it was flat. And his ass came back down to earth.
His ass is grass.
Yeah, and a lot more.
Yeah. Just
R.I.P.,
had to go there,
brother.
Jason.
Huh?
Just had to go
I
there.
have to.
Why?
I don't know. I
guess
still listen to it.
Gets on your nerves.
It's because besides the people sitting at this table and Josh, everyone I know, every single person I know espouses it.
Well, you should come to Iowa.
Did they not?
Not really. Every other word is goddamn. Every other word.
I like to say, "God damn it."
That way it's not really cussing because you said G-O-T.
Yeah.
Yeah, look how clever you are.
I do that like around my parents just so they don't get too mad, because I have a
It's amazing
bad
to do
habit
it.
of saying GD.
Do you? Me too, man. It's one of my favorites.
I say like Jesus fucking Christ and God fucking damn it a lot, and those are even worse.
Yeah.
Like when you add the F in between, it's
My
like
favorite to make that even worse is Jesus titty fucking Christ.
that's a good one.
Because then you get Lord's name in vain plus a porn reference. That is like, oof.
That's a good one.
Straight to hell.
Yeah.
You said that to Hank?
No.
You're gonna get blasted by a thunder god. You say that again, son.
Jesus titty fucking Christ.
It's
Thunder
smart.
God don't exist. Disproved it.
Maybe he thought it was funny.
Well,
Yeah, let's wrap it up.
Covered some ground.
We did. Wish you were here every week. It'd be better.
yep.
Maybe eventually.
couple more years.
Yeah,
Get you-
probably. I don't want to be in chemical processing forever. That shit's dangerous.
Yeah, dude. What the fuck?
I don't know.
Just move back. Start
Those
making
people are
breaking
LSD.
natural law by
We
making
could-
you work there.
We could be the biggest suppliers
No, it's not, because I willingly stepped through the door.
of
No,
the
no,
new
no,
Agent
no.
Orange.
It's immoral.
Or no,
How is it
Orange
immoral?
Sunshine. Agent Orange is what they have.
I'm trying to make fun of myself here.
Yeah. Two different conversations going on
Fuck you,
now.
Caleb.
Yeah.
No, come back, make LSD, and you'll be the biggest supplier in the entire country.
It's not worth it to me. I'll just get a job.
Just make it.
It's too,
I'll
it's
push
too,
it.
It's
That is
too
a
easy.
job.
It's too easy just to
Yeah,
get
it's
a
a job.
regular job, which is probably why I'm just always blown away by people
Do it
that
on
are
the
just
side.
like, it's not hard. Just get a fucking job. It's not hard. If you spend 6 months like actively using your brain power to try to get good at your job, you can fucking coast for the rest of your existence.
My plan. It's gonna take 6 months though.
No.
Yeah.
It won't take. If you take good notes, it won't take 2 months, man.
It won't take you 2 weeks to get good at what you're doing. Then, you have to learn other things. That'll take longer.
I'm not gonna learn
Yeah.
anything
You guys got
else.
Mario Kart set up?
Yeah.
Yeah. 64.
That's the only
Fuck,
one I
I'm moving back,
recognize,
boys.
Yeah, there is
I'm
no
moving
other
back.
Mario Kart. Like,
Did I tell? I found a way to refurnish the control sticks.
Did you?
Yeah. You gotta
That's
do it. You gotta.
clutch.
Huh?
so that's clutch.
It is. You break them apart, and I can't remember the exact method, but you have to spend some time. But yeah,
All those
apparently.
Fucking idiots playing Mario Party. Screwed up all the control sticks.
Yep.
Just do it.
Do you know what's funny about that?
Yeah.
You guys will probably laugh at this story, but the fucking one that you're referencing, the raft one.
Yeah.
I was probably, I don't know how young I was, but first time I ever played it, and I was at a friend's house, and I'm pretty competitive. I literally went so hard that I
got a
burnt.
rash?
Oh,
I
everybody!
had that.
No, I didn't do the rash. I burnt a layer of skin, like a blister that had just peeled off.
Joystick.
One of the old guys
You're
in
over
church
there,
made
like,
fun of me so
bleeding
much.
on the controller, like, I will win. Like,
Dude, I'm telling you, like in 60 seconds, I developed a blister, and the skin was gone.
He was on the one side of the 1 versus 3. Fuck you guys.
Yeah.
6 weeks later, had a callus and beat everybody.
I don't know about that.
All right, let's be done with this.
All right.
Thanks for listening.
Fuck you, Phil.
Hey, click that subscribe icon and make sure you tag that bell.
Leave a